First of all, my dad was a musician. He introduced me to music. He was my hero. He is my hero. And he opened the door for me to the music. And I prefer to play it. I mean, I've done a lot of different kinds of work, but music is probably the closest thing to my heart, the closest thing that I really believe in.
Invited initially to play with Casper Brossman as a duo, and I had played at an ARME festival a few years back in duo with Mats Gustafsson, and I remember loving being here, and I thought the festival was really great. I mean, it was presenting all the music that I was very interested in and intrigued by and felt some affinity with.
I think it's a great festival. It's very well organized, and I like the concept of the festival, and also I like the fact that it's almost a full moon tonight, because I always like to play music in a full moon. I think it has to do with the way the moon affects our bodies, and that kind of thing. I don't know exactly what it means in a scientific sense, but I can sense it, I can feel it. And I think it had an effect on us tonight in that concert.
I think it's kind of great, and I think it's really interesting to see how the ARME Festival perceives experimentation in music. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about pure improvisation. The idea of experimentation existing as a factor in composition is well, I mean, I think it's of equal value, and I think the festival recognizes this in a way that's really, I think it's beneficial for people coming here and to hear music, whether they want to or not.
I like to play with Thurston, that it's a kind of spirit and a good shimmy. I find if you play live, it's a complete improvised. We are not talking about music anyway. Just plug in and play, and it's a really good combination. In Bergheim, for example, I played things I never played before on the guitar.
I love Berlin. I've been here several times. I think it's an amazing city. It's a beautiful city. It reminds me of a lot of places like London or Paris or someplace like that, but Berlin is very different. And my experience being here is that it's very open and engaging, and allows me to do the things that I want to do. We've been playing together since about 17 years now. In 2000, I was invited to play with the band he plays with called The Thing, with Mats Gustafsson and Ingeborg Carter-Flatsson. And so we've been playing for a number of years. And Paul and I, about 4 or 5 years ago, we went to Japan together, and we made some recordings there as a duo. play a lot of different kinds of music, but I like this one because it's very organic, it's very open, and it gives me an opportunity to play with people in any kind of context. We don't have to come from some kind of fixed way of playing. It is improvised music. I don't call it jazz. I mean, we get that label put on us, but it's improvised music. Yeah, and it's very good.
Glaube ich, mit dem Salat, aber.
I was very happy there was an invitation to play with Casper at this festival, and I accepted it immediately. And as we got nearer to the date, it was decided that it might be kind of interesting to also have my group perform as well. So I did two things. I played with Casper on the first night, like the opening night, and which is incredible for me because I've always been really fascinated by Casper's approach to guitar playing and what he presents as a guitar player, and with sound and amplification and just ideas and his own sort of personal spirit in the music. And we've played before together years ago in London. And I think this time was far more successful and interesting as a duo than the first time. So we both felt really happy about it. And playing with the group here was also really interesting and curious, because I don't think groups like rock bands, even if they're like avant-garde noise rock bands. It's a little out of the context of what's being presented here, which is basically sort of free improvised music and very sort of way outside of the margins kind of experimental music as well.
In terms of distance on the planet?
Yes.
Oh, many places out as far as Japan, all over Europe, around the United States, and so on like that, yeah.
Do you feel they kind of connect differently to the music, or?
Not differently, it all connects the same way, because it's a universal language. And so it's not different at all. We have a lot in common everywhere.